Amsterdam, the liberty capital of Europe, where the window mannequins isn't famous for their clothes and the coffee shops isn't famous for their coffee. The Sin City, the city of dreams, the city where much is legal and all is accessible, the mecca of subcultures and the metropolis of sexualities. Today, I met with Yvo Vas Dias, founder and chairman of TransAmsterdam, Amsterdam Trans Pride, and the work group Transgender Religion, Philosophy of Life and Ethics. I met him to a talk about the transgender environment in Amsterdam and in general.
I'm sitting here at the Manor Hotel in Amsterdam, and I have met Yvo, and he is a representative for TransAmsterdam. What is TransAmsterdam?
TransAmsterdam is an organization for a transgender organization in Amsterdam, and we are organized. Last year we organized the first Amsterdam Trans Pride in the same time as the Gay Pride, but then especially for the transgender community.
Okay.
And we are specialized in art and culture.
Okay. What is the actual meaning of transsexual and transgender? Because to me, it sounds like the same, but there is a huge difference, right?
Yeah, there is a huge difference. But transgender is a sort of overall word. So, for instance, when you are a girl, but you don't feel like a girl, and you want to be a boy, then maybe later on you go to transitioning, do hormone therapy, operation in the hospital. But some people don't want to do this transition, so they stay maybe in their female body or male body, and they
just have the opposite appearance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have the operation, you are transsexual, and if you don't, you are transgender. Can you say it that simple?
Yeah, but transgender and transsexual, sometimes the line is very small.
Okay, so it's not that simple if you have
it's not so simple, but you can also say a transgender is also transsexual, but most of the time we call now everybody transgender and not transsexual. Because sometimes it's not about sexuality, it's more about your gender, about your identity. That's different than.
So that's actually also the story that you want to tell. Is more the part where you feel in yourself that you are a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
It's not so much that you are attracted to a boy or a girl.
No,
or sexually feel like the other sex.
No, that's more. That's maybe later on.
Yeah.
After your transition, you can also change your sexual identity.
But it starts much earlier.
With when you are transgender, it's more about your awareness about your gender identity. Am I a girl? Or am I a boy? And maybe you're raised like a girl, but you don't feel like a girl.
How early does it normally start before you?
It depends. Some people are small kids, like 2 or 3 years. They know it already. Yeah. But some are older. Yeah, it depends on the person or the situation where you are. Maybe your religion is also difficult. Yeah. And if you are in a city or in a village, it's also difficult. So it depends on so many things.
Yeah.
If you are in a big family or a small family or whatever, or are you what kind of background, Jewish, Muslim, or whatever, it's also difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on so many things. Some people are in the 60s and they find out, maybe they divorced, and then after they divorced they find out, I had this secret all my life.
When did you know that you had to change?
First, when I was younger, I thought, okay, I'm lesbian, and I thought, okay, I like girls, not men. So I came in this gay community, lesbian community with women, but after some years, I found because I saw all these women, but I didn't connect with them because I feel like I have a Jewish background, and I had always the feeling that I'm not the granddaughter of my Jewish grandfather, but his grandson. In the beginning, it's also for parents difficult. If you had a daughter and she's not your daughter but your son, it's difficult for people, and they know you so long, so it's for them very the pronunciation from he to she is very difficult. For a long time they say she, and later on you get a beard and a mustache, and then she calling you she again. So, but in the meantime, they grow over it and they accept the way you are, and they're happy with you.
Your parents, at least.
Yeah.
But there is, I
Of
suppose,
course.
a lot of people who have had some problems.
Of course,
with that.
a lot of people, also people who are married and feel they are transgender. It's also difficult. And children, parents who did the transition and the children don't accept it.
And is it common that it comes when people already have got children, that then they find out?
Yeah. Some people now you have more small children. They are very aware of themselves, but you have also older people who are married, have children, and then later when they get older, that they are feeling trapped in their own body, and that's difficult.
Yeah.
Some people don't change their body, but sometimes they live as a man and sometimes live as a woman. Maybe when they go to work, they go as a man, and sometimes in the evening or in the weekends they
change clothes.
They change clothes, but nobody knows it.
Beside maybe their partner and themselves.
Yeah.
Have you any kids?
No.
No. How is have you? I don't know. You know the possibilities of getting kids after an operation. Is there? Do you have?
You can adopt them.
Yeah.
And some. You can adopt them, of course.
Would that be something you would like to do at some point? No.
I'm too involved with other things, and it's too. No.
But it's not your gender change that decides that you don't want to have children.
It's my own decision.
Okay.
It's not. When I was younger, I thought, I want to be a dad, but when you get older, it's too much, and you have your jobs or your foundation, and then you work for that, and you don't have time for children.
So that's pretty modern people life.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. Yeah. So years come by because it takes some time to acknowledge it. I met some other guys from female to male.
Where did you meet them?
Yeah, also in the gay clubs or the lesbian disco or groups, because they had always all these guys had the same feelings. And then we started our own group. It calls the Boys Hour. And then we started to talk with each other every month about clothes, men's clothes, and about operations. Because some wanted to. You have the gender clinic, gender team, and then you can go to this gender team to talk about your transitioning or hormone treatment. But some guys don't want to do that yet because it's very difficult. So first of all, you have to find out who you are. And then later on, for myself, later on I go to this clinic and then I get some green light. It's called, okay, you are transsexual.
Through talking with the
Yeah,
psychologists.
psychologists, and also with a doctor, and then you get.
But how is that? Isn't that strange to have someone else to decide whether
Of
or
course.
not what sexuality you
Yeah, that's
are,
very.
what gender you are?
But they have. That's also because you don't feel ill,
No?
you don't feel sick, and you have to go to the hospital. That's very strange, because you're talking about your gender identity,
Yeah.
not about a sickness,
No.
of course. But because you want to do this transition, you have to follow this road. Of course, some kids now have very problems. Some people have problems with this kind of way, because what you said, it's very strange that other people have to decide if you are a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was okay, and so I did this transition, go to the hospital, operation, hormone treatment, and
Was it a hard period?
yeah, because every operation is hard. If you have a broken leg or have to transition all the operation, because you have to lay in the hospital, you have to how you say narcose. So it's hard. But when you start your transition, you become more aware of yourself, and of course you have to do it before also, because
Yeah, if not, you will never get the green light.
no, but also about if you want to be happy, it's not dependent on your transitioning. You have to be happy within yourself. So I have also a Buddhist background, and for me it's very important to be in the balance, to have your balance, do meditation. So I had this Buddhist teacher, and he helped me through my transitioning. So I feel very lucky about this.
Amsterdam goes by the nickname Mokum, a Yiddish word meaning safe haven, and as a foreigner, that is exactly how I see the city. As a gathering place where minorities are welcome and lives in peace side by side. But is this really the reality?
Well, I would like to know something about the connection between the transgender environment and the city of Amsterdam, because I always had the impression that Amsterdam, that's like the liberty capital of Europe and the sexual liberty capital as well.
It's a liberal city. We get, because we do the trans rights now this year also, and the local and the city of Amsterdam support us very much, very well. But uh, last years there were a lot of beat-ups, bullying, gay men in areas, in some areas in Amsterdam, and also transgender women have it very hard. So the life in Amsterdam becomes more harder for not for me personally, but for gay men and transgender women, it's more harder, I think.
Why is it that it's getting harder?
The tolerance are more or less,
Okay.
not everywhere, but tolerance, people are, and I think maybe it's worldwide, the worlds get more harder, and also I think freedom of speech is to say everything what you want. but they forget the other persons, so then it's not freedom. And yeah, people getting harder. So when they see something what they don't like, they get bullied or they get.
Do you have any idea why people is acting like that? What is it that provokes them? Can you understand?
Sometimes they think they have all kinds of idea about a man who is gay is female, feminine, or some.
So it's because if they meet someone in town and they don't know from the first minute that it's actual transgender, then they get offended because they started to have romantic talks.
No, not
Not
romance.
like
No more that they don't like men in women's clothes, and that's why they are very aggressive about transgenders or trans women.
Just because they don't like what they see.
Yeah, and sometimes with gay men, is it maybe because they don't accept their own sexuality?
Ah.
It's difficult. Sometimes you don't know why. But also they hate in themselves and they want to put it out on somebody else. And what they and then they select somebody who is vulnerable.
So it has been beforehand. It has been a place where it felt free to.
And still is, but on some areas in Amsterdam, it's sometimes very not so nice for some people. But we still have the gay pride, and we still have the now the trans pride, and we still have parties and still have clubs where you can go. But you see or you hear from the community that some people, lesbian or gay men, or they don't want to walk hand in hand, and years before they did it, they feel more free.
Do you have any suggestions to what could be done about that? Should something be done politically, or does it need a change in the mindset of the whole people?
I think it starts at school. Education is very important, and also what we organize, the Trans Pride, is for us is a sort of story festival. So we want to share the stories about gender with the world. So for us, it's also about how you say it, education, but also about meet each other. For instance, your neighbor is transgender, or your child is transgender, or your uncle or your teacher. Talk with each other.